Ooh, there we go. Okay, guys, we are so excited. It's summer. I mean, it feels like summer. And so we are both here to just bring some really good tips and honest things that we love to be able to use to enjoy summer more and not feel like, the downsides of summer and feel like the summer blahs are here. And so we're both excited. I'll tell you a little bit about myself and then we'll kick it right off. And as you guys jump in, let us know where you're coming from and what you're excited to hear about. So, Amanda Rahija here. I love summer. I mean, I feel like I was born like to just be in the sun nonstop. And I feel like sometimes when the summer comes, I get so excited to just be outside nonstop that I forget like about sunscreen and I forget about certain things. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, wait a second. But I feel like summer is a time for me just to like lighten up, get that glow on, get that energy back in, and enjoy so much. So there's so many things that I love to be able to do, and I use all the products that we're going to tell you about today. So I'm from Ontario, Canada, and it's me and my dogs, and we're talking about some of the stuff, and my husband. I should say that too. But as we're talking about some things, I may share some tips for animals as well. So if you guys have got animals, you've got dogs, let us know below. All right, Mr. Marie Michelle, let's go.
Yeah, thank you, Amanda. So happy to be with you all. So my name is Mary Michelle. I'm a mother of three. I've always been very passionate about health, sports, and wellness. So I've worked for so many years in the pharmaceutical industry until I flirted with the burnout. So I decided to go do my yoga teacher training. And it is at that time that I discovered doTERRA, and I immediately fell in love with the scientific rigor, the community aspect, and also the mission to empower most people. So I decided 8 years ago to leave my thriving career behind and to start full time in doTERRA. So today I enjoy like supporting and building a large team both in Canada and in Europe. So back to you, Amanda.
I love that. We're both outdoor people. Okay, so we're going to give just like sneak peek things and give you some recipes. We want this to be short, sweet, and then you guys a chance to ask us questions. So we really are going to go into 5 things to keep you covered this summer season, energized, protected all season long, but still get to enjoy and not feel like you're overburdened by things. So we're going to talk about sunscreen. We're going to talk about those bugs and ticks and nasty things that sometimes prevent us from wanting to be outside. We're going to talk about some things for just soothing the skin and what can help with some seasonal things that go on. And then we're going to talk about our electrolytes and how that works and some foundational stuff just a little bit here. And so we want you to be able to look at and go, some of the things that you already probably have in your toolkit, how you can reuse them for a different season. So I'm going to touch on, and I always feel like we have to talk about this first. And the reason why is because summertime often throws us off routine. And so our either Lifelong Vitality or the VMG, which are our vitamins. So if you don't know that in doTERRA, these are our foundational wellness tools. And they don't replace eating well. They don't replace, actually eating, but they fill those gaps of when we've missed our good, healthy, fueling breakfast or lunch, or we're on the go. I know last weekend was a girls' weekend for me. We were at a concert Friday night, at a cottage Saturday and Sunday, and then Monday at Canada's Wonderland on all the amusement rides. So I know I had to fuel my body a little bit differently because I was go, go, go. So these vitamins played a key point to sustain the energy and make me feel like I could last the whole time and then keep that immune system supported and definitely fill the nutritional gaps that I missed while I was gone. So take these. Some people forget them in the summer. It is so important to keep fueling your body with your foundational wellness. So that way you don't have where you end up sick with a cold or you end up worn out and you can't enjoy the short summers that we have. All right, kick it off to you.
Thank you, Amanda. So to continue with supplementation, I'd like to introduce you to one of my favorites. the electrolytes MetaPower Recharge, like this, or individual stick. So, well, first of all, why hydration matters? Okay, so we have to be conscious that with warm weather, as we were discussing before starting the Zoom, the sunshine, the travel, the many outdoor activities, hydration becomes even more important. So many people will think that a good hydration is simply to drink more water. The reality is that hydration is water plus electrolytes. Okay, so then it brings us to the question of what is the role of electrolytes. I'm just going to admit someone. Okay, so what is the role of electrolytes? So first of all, it's support cellular hydration. It will help maintain also the fluid balance. It helps with muscle contraction, muscle function, and also with the recovery. And also it helps supports energy, endurance, and also cognitive performance. So we have to know that more or less 70% of the entire population lives on a daily basis dehydrated. So the signs of dehydration, now I see Amanda drinking water. I know every time I talk about electrolytes or water, people feel, okay, I'm thirsty, I need to drink. Okay, so that's the sign. Okay, so the main signs will be fatigue, brain fog, headaches, muscle cramps, and also a reduction of physical and mental performance. Okay, so as an athlete, I've been consuming electrolytes for a very long time, and I rapidly fell in love with the Recharge, the new ones. Why is that? First of all, we need to know they contain 4 electrolytes. So the basics: sodium, potassium, magnesium, and calcium. Okay, so just I won't go into the details of all the electrolytes, but you have to know that just the magnesium in itself, it contains 4 different types of magnesium, including the famous one, which is the L-threonate, which is really good for cognitive functions. So everybody needs like this type of, it's not only for athletes, for sports people, it's like a matter of everybody. Okay, so also what I love, it's not like overdosage. Okay, so it's always a question of having the proper ratio. So we want to have the proper ratio of sodium, potassium, which will help to maximize the muscle contraction and the nervous influx. Okay, so there's also, as you can read, like plus 75 deep ocean minerals to enhance the cellular hydration. We also have fresh ginseng, which is largely studied for performance, endurance, cognitive functions. There's obviously the MetaPower essential oil blend, which will support a healthy metabolism. Baobab extract to support hydration. There are 2 flavors currently. So you can either go with the strawberry one or the lemon lime. And we're so excited to, if you don't know, we're letting you know, the strawberry flavor has just launched in Canada a few weeks ago. So we're super happy about that. It's like you'll love the flavor. So what I really love about the electrolyte is I truly think it's a clean alternative to put away the traditional sports drink that has like dubious colors or questionable ingredient lists that we want to put away for young and less young people. Okay, so so this is like a super clean formula. It's delicious, it tastes natural, it doesn't taste any chemicals at all. So the way to use it, personally, I take one every day in the morning. So the first thing I do in the morning, I take my essential lemon essential oil drop in the water. Second thing is that I do is that whether I train or not. So this allows me to start the day like fresh and alert. Okay. So if I have a big training, then I'm going to take 2. And if I have like a competition or a race, then I'm going to go for 3. Okay. So as I mentioned, it's not like only for athletes, it's for everybody, whether you're active, whether you're traveling, whether you're working long hours, you're doing a lot of outdooring. It's like an easy habit that can make a big difference in the daily usage. So we took a look of taking care of you internally. So now let's talk about skin protection. And when we're talking about summer, we need to speak about skin protection. So as you may know, finding a good sunscreen that is both natural and both effective can be a good challenge, okay? And I believe that doTERRA like highly delivers on both aspects, okay? And when we talk about the sun, it's always to think about the goal is to have an intelligent sun exposure, okay? So the sun is not our enemy. We need the sun, whether it is for serotonin or melatonin production or vitamin D synthesis. And as we all know, overexposure can create major challenges. So protection still matters, okay? So why doTERRA sunscreen? First of all, it's mineral-based versus chemical-based, okay? So unlike chemical sunscreen, it does not absorb the UV rays into the skin. When we're talking about a mineral protection, it creates like a physical barrier that is going to reflect the rays. So that's the first thing. Also, it's good to know that it uses non-nano zinc oxide. What is important is that it's the non-nano. Why is that? Because there are larger particles that they won't enter into your blood stream, which is very important. Also, when we're talking about mineral sunscreen, when you apply it, it's working immediately. You don't need to wait 15 to 30 minutes before it's efficient. So it's Coral Reef Safe Formula. Okay, so I'm going to introduce you to the entire line. So, well, I'm going to start with my favorite, my personal favorite, which is SPF 40. So this is a stick. If you're familiar with the Deep Blue, it's the same concept. You can apply it in the face, over the body. So I use it for outdoor sports when I'm traveling. It's made with shea butter, cocoa butter, jojoba oil, and it's all coconut-derived ingredients. So it's very hydrating. It's very smooth application, and it doesn't feel chalky like sometime when you're gonna have with mineral sunscreen. And it's very convenient when you're traveling. Okay, so I love the format. So second is the facial mineral sunscreen, which is SPF 30. So this is like perfect for daily usage. It fits perfectly under the makeup. And I have to say, when you use it, this one is really like with a pump. And when you use it, you feel like you're applying silk to the skin. I love this one. Okay. So if we're going to the body, so we have the classical for the body, you have two options. So you either have the traditional lotion formula, okay, or you do have the aerosol, the spray without aerosol. So this is like a classical the family use, and a little trick. Instead of like spraying like that and you losing a lot, you spray into your hand and then you apply. Okay, so kids, if you ever have kids, they go to camps. This is like the family's like favorite. Okay, so what I love about the line is that it applies beautifully. You don't look like a ghost. Okay, which is one of the biggest complaints people will have about mineral sunscreen. And I truly believe doTERRA made a super job with the formula. Okay, and while I was studying in Naturo, we always say there are two criteria, okay, when you're looking at ingredient lists. First of all, your grandmother should be able to read the ingredient list and be able to have an idea of what it contains, okay? Second of all, when you're applying a product on the skin, you should be able to eat it, okay, at the best. So, and it's super clean, okay? So obviously it contains essential oils. So we're talking about frankincense, helichrysum, magnolia, ylang ylang. So when it's not sticky, it smells fresh. So we love it. And the last but not the least is the after sun, which is super soothing, hydrating, nourishing for the skin after the sun, after the exposure. And it contains like really key ingredients like aloe vera, raspberry seed oil, avocado oil, hyaluronic acid as well, which is like for the skin hydration. And obviously essential oils like copaiba, blue tansy, frankincense, that all are essential oils that have calming and restoring properties. Okay. And the last aspect, which is while we're talking about protection, thinking of summer, we want to protect the skin from all the bugs, the ticks that there are out there. As I saw in the comments, it's already started. So what I'd like to this to show you is one of our favorites, which is the TerraShield. So the TerraShield formula, which is perfect for summer. It's a bug, insect, it's everything repellent, as you can see. Okay, so there are two options with the TerraShield. You can have a ready-to-use spray version, or you can have like the pure essential oils in a 15 ml bottle. Okay, so I use both. Okay, so this one is very practical because you can either apply it on the skin or you can apply it on the clothes. Okay, and the other one is very flexible because you can do your own formula or you can use it outside. Let's say you're having a dinner with friends, family. You can bring I use it in my down diffuser, which is like a portable diffuser. So that's pretty practical. So the essential oils we'll have in TerraShield are mainly citronella, cedarwood, lemongrass, thyme, geranium, peppermint. And what you could be doing, you could supercharge your TerraShield. Okay. So why would you don't have to do that, but why would you do that? Okay. It could be interesting to do that. Let's say you're going camping and you're in an area where ticks are very present. You could supercharge your TerraShield. So how would you do that? You would add lemon, eucalyptus, you would put more cedarwood. You could put also peppermint if you want to, okay, and cedarwood and geranium, okay. And last but not the least, we're talking about prevention, but it's only part of the equation. So you could be having after bite support as well. So you could do like in a 10 ml bottle, you could put fractionated coconut oil and you could work with lavender and tea tree essential oils. So that's going to help calm and soothe the skin after the bites. Okay. And a little trick that I love to do with the kids, I always carry this 10 ml, that roll on. I put it in the fridge. So when I need it, it makes the cold effect as well. So it's very cool, calming. So now there are no more secret how to have a clean, intentional, and proper outdoor protection. I'll pass it back to you, Amanda. Thank you.
I love that. And just some testimonials to share. So I see a Medi Spot, and she tried to tell me that I needed a face sunscreen. And she said that doTERRA's wouldn't be enough. I needed to buy a dermatologist one. And she was trying to sell me the dermatologist one. And I can't remember the exact amount of zinc oxide that she said needed to be in it. And then I pulled up the PDF and I said, oh, so doTERRA's is good, right? And I showed her the amount of zinc oxide in that one. And she was like, oh, so it's something that I've gotten used to using, especially as we get older. Just, I don't want more sun damage on my face. And so being able to apply that. And so it's funny because I kept using that. She's like, well, you really should buy the one that I have. And every time I go back, I'm like, but look, my face looks so good. So good testimonial to that. And I know, Carolyn, you had a question about animals and dogs with ticks. So you can actually take this recipe and just dilute it, depending on the size of the dog. But you can take the 15 ml bottle and then you can just add the geranium cedarwood. I don't do peppermint for dogs just because it's a little bit intense for them, and lemon eucalyptus in there, and then be able to use that with dogs, with kids. I always spritz it, so I'll take my spritzer and I'll spritz on my hand first. Again, like you, I don't like to waste things. It goes on my hands and then start at the butt and go forward, and their face and their ears last. So you're kind of diluting it on your hands as well. And then you're doing that before you're going outside. So you can do that actively. My dog now rolls over and goes like, I get this when I go for a walk. So he's like, okay, we're going for a walk, mom. Like, spray me up. And we haven't had ticks. So, and we've got lots of ticks in the area. So just being consistent and still check yourself, of course. So I can send you another recipe if you want, Carolyn. Okay. So most people carry around a first aid kit. Sometimes people in their car when you go camping, and you don't want to be caught off guard. I meant to actually I have a little first aid kit I grabbed on like Temu, and it's just this like oil bag that I just throw everything in, and it says, your first aid kit, but it's my natural one. And people spend so much time and money on non-natural things and fill up their first aid kit with all kinds of pharmaceuticals and over-the-counters. But I want you to look at a lot of the things that are in here are things that are probably you have in your toolkit that maybe you use for the cold and flu season. Maybe you use them through different times in the season, and now you can repurpose them for your first aid kit. And so one of the things that I saw, oh, it is on there. It's at the bottom. There, sorry. Didn't realize it was like that. I'm going to start with my favorite, only because if you know, this little bottle of Correctex is probably the most loved thing that most people have in their homes. We probably have six little things on the go. I have them in every purse. We have them in the car. My husband has it in his golf bag by his office desk. So it has in it frankincense, helichrysum, cedarwood, and tea tree and lavender. So a lot of the oils that are in this little kit here. But I don't just use this. So think of this as your natural polysporin. So if your little one gets a cut, if you get a cut, a sliver, anything that's open sore, you can put this on. But it's also amazing for those sun and wind burn lips. Correctex. It's also great if you happen to be traveling and there's a lot of germs around. I put a little bit on my fingers and stick it up my nose and just rub the inside of your nose. If you're tending to have more things like nosebleeds, or your kids get more nosebleed because of the air conditioning on up the nose, it just helps lubricate it a little bit as well. So this one is something that is super easy to carry. It is super easy to lose as well, though. So have a couple extra on hand. But it's got a lot of the other things in there. So as we go through these, just think of lavender for all things that need soothing. I keep one in my kitchen for burns. It's for my first aid. I will get little hives when I go outside and cut all the bushes and do some gardening work. I get hives from the plants. Couple swipes of the lavender roller, it's gone. So I carry it for when we go back country camping. I carry it for the poison ivy, the mosquito bites, the random rashes or blisters that show up, too much sun, anything like that. So lavender just soothes the skin in so many different ways. On Guard is a fun one because we think of On Guard for like cold and flu season. This is a great thing, whether the spray or the roller, when you happen to have to go to the bathroom and there's no hand sanitizer or places to wash your hands, a couple little rolls of that. Also, if you've been bit by a mosquito or a tick and you've got an open cut, it's great to be able to put that on just to be able to allow some extra healing and some first aid there. Now, peppermint, as someone that's menopausal, is probably my favorite one this time of year. I will either put it in a spritzer bottle and we were using it yesterday on the golf course because it's quite humid right now, and just spritzing ourselves. And we smell like mint, but instantly you can feel that cooling sensation. So if your kids are on the soccer field and it's 30 degrees out and they're running around and sweating, just a little spritz on the back of the neck can cool your body temperature right down, just like it does for fevers during that cold and flu season. But it can also help with any of that labored breathing. If you're finding that the humidity is really struggling, I will sometimes just take the bottle or take the roller and just breathe and get those 3 deep breaths in to bring it right down into the lungs. If you've had too much sun, it cools it down. Anything like, the head tension or just that tension that you might carry in your neck. When we go back country camping, I will tell you this. I add this to my TerraShield because this helps get flies to disappear. You have to keep reapplying it, but if you're having a dinner party outside, get little cotton balls, put a couple drops of the peppermint on, and you will see the flies stay away from your food. So if you've got flies that are coming in, or ants or mice or things like that, peppermint, your best friend for all things, and those little cotton balls. The Digestin or Zengest in Canada, this is for all of, I was on roller coasters and you can see some of the kids coming off on Monday and they're like, oh, I feel a little woozy. It's like, here, roll a little bit of the Zengest on your belly and that's going to help. But think of your car rides, the seasickness, if you're on a boat, any of those nausea things, or just that you've eaten too much at some of the barbecues. Purify is interesting. I like to use it because most people have stinky shoes and stinky feet in the summer. So putting a drop in the shoes, if they're wearing, running shoes with bare feet, it also helps to prevent any bacteria buildup or anything like that with the tea tree in there. But it can also be used on insect bites too. Your tea tree, my favorite for this is taking the roller bottle. And if you're at the gym, pools, or like playgrounds that you're running around in bare feet, roll a little bit on your feet before you go and then a little bit after. You don't want those warts that other people maybe have gotten or those little foot funguses that are around. If you're someone that gets your feet treated at a nail salon and get your toenails done, tea tree oil is a great one to put on before. That way, again, you're not contracting anything that might happen to be in some of those spaces and places. Frankincense, I mean, number one, it's free this month. But if you spend 125 on your rewards program, but it is the one that, like, if you don't know what else to use Frank. It's your best friend. So I love it though. Those cuts and scrapes that kids get, and you're using the correct X. It's got some Frank in here, but you don't want that scarring. You don't want, I had someone that just had a really bad sunburn and she was using the after sun, but add some extra frankincense on there just to heal that damaged skin and help it rejuvenate a little bit better. On guard, we already talked about. Tear shield, we already talked about. And then don't forget, you do need some extra things in that first aid kit. Band-aids, you can't replace. One of the things that I don't have on here, and it just triggered my mind when I said band-aids. I was in camping and one of the kids was carrying his fishing rod and the hook came loose and it hooked into my finger. Now we were about 6 hours in the backcountry where there's no, you can't go anywhere. And I have this big, huge hook hitting the bone in my finger. And so thankfully, I had all of these oils on me, and people laugh. They're like, do you really need all of these? I'm like, yes. And then when you need them, you'll be thanking me I have them. And I always bring helichrysum, and I hope not to have to use it. But in this instance, I did. So we had the tea tree oil ready to disinfect. I numbed it with the peppermint, and then we had the On Guard and all of that ready to go. But after the hook came out, and the On Guard also has numbing agents in it, right? The clove in there is numbing. So after the hook came out, it was this gush of blood. And the helichrysum coagulates the blood and it just sat on top. And so that healing process was so much faster. And I should have needed stitches, but by the time I got out of the backcountry, I didn't need stitches. So one that's really good to have on hand, especially when you can't be near a hospital or something really quickly. So we talked about a couple of these before, but don't forget, during the summer times, we're eating out more often. There's often foods at barbecues that you normally wouldn't snack on, or maybe you're just standing around a table and you're picking at different things. And so this is a time to remember to be protective of your body and preventative as well. So those heavier foods, adding things I will always take, and I keep it in my purse, Zengest or the Kids Tamer. You can add a little bit to your belly clockwise, and that's going to help with that bloating that happens or that upset stomach. You can also do Terrazyme. So Terrazyme is something that is in my purse. It's in my car. When I eat out, might have an extra indulgences and in ice cream or cotton candy or, different things like that. And now I'm feeling a little bit like I'm 6 months pregnant and my belly's upset. Terrazyme just helps to break down that food. And especially if you have any sensitivities, carrying Terrazyme with you so you don't end up being in the bathroom the whole time at a picnic or a barbecue. And then Zendercrin's an extra one that most people don't think about. But if you've had a lot to drink or some indulgences all weekend long, it's good idea to get back on that Zendocrine to start opening up those detoxification pathways and get things flowing through again. Same with the peppermint and lemon in your water. So you want to support your body after those weekends away. I think this one was you, or is it me? I can't remember now. Do you want me to keep going, or is it you? It's me. Okay. It's just kind of going into some of the same things. Again, you'll see you don't need a lot of oils. Keep the same ones, keep them on repeat, put them in that first aid kit. But when you're traveling and you're on the road lots, being away, cottage weekends, all of those things, you're not sleeping in your same bed. You're not eating in the same routines. You're not having the same sleep patterns. You might be less stressed, or maybe you're more stressed because you're the one that's packing everybody up and getting everyone going. So, this is the time to really make sure that you're supporting that body. So, when you get to that next destination, you don't end up burnt out, sick, and exhausted. And then you're the one that can't have fun while everyone else is running around. So, really protect that system with your On Guard. I know we typically talk about that in the fall, but just get used to putting some on the bottom of your feet morning and night before you travel and while you're traveling, sanitizing those surfaces. And then the oregano and tea tree, I will typically, if I'm going to be on an airplane or if I'm going to be doing long bouts of where we're just on the go, I make sure that I'm doing that Flume roller bottle on the bottom of my feet. So that has the oregano, the tea tree, the On Guard, the frankincense. And I'm just rolling it on the bottom of my feet every night. Just that extra boost of support. And then find your things that help you sleep. The Serenity sleep system, the adaptive sleep system, or the adaptive system, whatever it is, bring that with you. We've got the little portable diffusers, the Pilot diffuser. We've got little ones that you can take with you. I travel with my diffuser everywhere. It's easy to pack with you. And so being able to use that, if you can't put things in a spray bottle so you can mist your bed before you go to sleep, all of those things, because at least you're going to get a better sleep in bedrooms or situations and sleeping situations that you're not used to. And then the Zengest. We thought we'd throw some diffuser blends here because who doesn't love to have fun diffuser blends? You can take a screenshot of this, but fun diffuser blends going in your home when the air conditioning's been on, it feels a little bit stingy in your house, and this just gives that breath of fresh air. I know you'll see citrus twist on here. We don't have that right now. You can do some more citrus bloom, but get creative, come up with things. The bug-free one is the one that I'll use in my diffuser outside. I will also spritz that on my patio furniture. So, you don't want to have all those extra bugs. So as you're sitting outside, just put a little couple drops around or some cotton balls. So feel free to take a screenshot of that. And then we would love to hear from you in the chat, the doTERRA product that you can't travel without, and maybe just like let us know what product that is. Because we want you guys to enjoy your summer. We want you to have the right tools, be prepared, understand why you need some of those tools, and then add them to your cart if you don't have them yet. And then if you have any questions, we'll answer them at the end of this, but also reach out to the person who invited you. And they're there to help you kind of customize things for your specific trips and fun travels for this summer. So, any questions? I know I'll stop sharing. And let's see.
We have in the chat, Dina, Serenity capsules for sleeping in strange places. Yeah, that's a classical.
It's nothing worse than that, you all of a sudden have a roommate or there's someone in the next room snoring or the next tent and you can't fall asleep. So some great tips and tools to make it feel like it's not such a strange place. Any questions? The after sun spray, Carolyn, oh my goodness. It has not only saved so many people, but it works for like razor burns or like that first aid, or you just need to feel a little bit like of a boost on your face. I'll spritz it on my face. I love that one. That's a great after one. What else is your favorite? Oh, Michelle's with the Serenity stick. Yes. I actually will use the Serenity stick for bug bites. So it's a great one to have on hand. Again, multi-purpose, but for bug bites, I will also use it as deodorant. It works. So yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then my latest invention for the Serenity Stick, because I'm a person about like, let's get the most out of one product, right? Like if I can carry in my first aid kit a couple things and I'm getting so many uses out of it. So Serenity Stick for sleep, for bug bites, for deodorant. And then I've also used it for, when you want your hair tied back and you have the flyaways, especially in the summer with the humidity, get that Serenity Stick and it's like hair wax. So you no longer need to use the toxic hair wax. I've tried it out now on 3 occasions and I have friends trying it out. And yes, you have to wash your hair the next day because you've got like the wax in it. But if you want that slick back look and you don't want those flyaways, your Serenity Stick, I mean, I'm sure the frankincense stick would work too, but that's a little bit pricier. So yeah, Serenity Stick. Oh, and for lip balm, yes. So there's another use. Nora, past tense for long drives, Zengest for air travel. Yeah. Anything else, guys? And Serenity Stick smells amazing. Yes. And I'll use the frankincense stick. So I've noticed, thanks, Sarah, in your chat and your thing, the frankincense stick is amazing for your lips. So being able to use it just, you know how sometimes when you get older, you'll get like the little wrinkles. So I thought I started to see some of that happening. So I just took every night, the frankincense stick gets layered on my lips. And then, it just helps to heal and rejuvenate anything that's there. And I mean, if you were stuck and you had some flyaways, you could put that in your hair too. I know it does help with hair loss, so maybe that could help a little bit. But there's some of our best tips. I love that. Keep going if there's any other tips that you guys have for
Yeah.
summer because
With the frankincense stick, also if you have like a little like brown spots, it can help a lot. Yeah.
yeah,
Mainly
yeah,
in summer times, sometimes they're gonna come out more easily, so it helps like attenuate. Yeah.
yeah. It's such a fun way to be able to take so many of doTERRA's products and like pick five. Pick five of them. Like you've got your bug repellent done, you've got your sunscreen, and you've got your like, but then five that you're like, these are my foundation, these are my first aid, and find ways to use them in so many different ways. And then you don't need to take, like, I probably won't take a lavender roller anymore because the Serenity Stick kind of does the same thing for, all those extras. Um, there's certain things I might actually just take the frankincense stick instead of frankincense sometimes now, maybe for instead of the frankincense roller. So I think that like finding different ways to use your products and then being able to go in a pinch, I've got something, right? I've got something when someone needs something, and you're sitting around the campfire and a kid burns himself on a marshmallow. Pull out that Serenity Stick, pull out that lavender, pull out that Correct-X. And, you don't have to go, well, I need to buy all this extra stuff for all those things. So I love it. Anything else? Oh, peppermint while camping. Yeah, spiders. Spiders and mice and ants and all of the camp. If you're not a camper, you're like, I want those out of my house. Yes, but if you're a camper, you have a cottage or a trailer, um, some great ways to be able to use it and things like that. I've also seen people put a drop of peppermint on like a Kleenex or a newspaper before putting it in the fire, and then it smells a little minty, and then some of the flies go away. So, and it smells nice. So that's it, guys. If you guys have no more questions, um, we hope that you learned a whole bunch, that your first aid kit is full of doTERRA products. And please reach out to us if you need anything else and reach out to the person that invited you for some extra tips along the way. All right, guys, we'll see you later.
Thank you all.